Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to our podcast with Master K and myself, Kristen Blair, as we talk about mastering energy. Today, we will be discussing the topic of walking away from what no longer serves and what this looks like and how we do this. So, just to begin, I'd love to be able to allow Master K to speak for themselves and we can move forward with today's topic.
Hello. Very warm welcome as usual. And welcome to today's podcast. So today's episode is, like Kristen just said, walking away from what no longer serves us. And you might say, well, what is this to do with energy, Master K? Well, it has everything to do with energy. I keep on about human weaknesses, and one human weakness is that we get controlled by other people so easily. I'm also a therapist and a hypnotherapist, and hypnosis, believe it or not, is all around us. It really is all around us. You know, you go in a supermarket and you see fresh fruit and fresh flowers straight away as soon as you enter that shop, and that is a subliminal message to your subconscious mind saying, oh, everything in this shop is fresh. Yeah, and then you might get a pattern on the floor in the supermarket that attracts you to that aisle. So what I'm saying is everything is energy, and as humans we get controlled by other people very easily, very easily. It's like sheep, you know, to get them to go into their pen, you can do it two ways. You can do it with a cattle prod. Yeah, so it's fear that makes them enter the pen. Or you can just put a trail of food down. Be super nice. Either way works. So we are going to be discussing energy and looking at things that no longer serve us. So back to you, Kristen.
Thank you so much, Master K. I want to just dive straight into the question of why do we walk away from things that no longer serve us? Why is it important? And like you said, how is this connected to energy? So everything is energy and everything holds energy. And whenever we're holding on to things that no longer serve us, this energy becomes toxic in our lives, and we begin to see it creating ripples that make effects within our world. And so whenever we begin to realize the different things in our life that we're holding on to that are no longer serving us, that are no longer in efforts of our highest good, or simply just no longer needed for our lives, we find ourselves getting stuck in certain patterns. And whenever we give ourselves the opportunity to recognize these patterns and recognize these places that we are holding on to, and we give ourselves the chance to release it and walk away and begin a new pattern, begin anew again, it gives us the opportunity to really start us back on a path that we want to see ourselves moving forward onto, and again aligning ourselves with that higher timeline, with our purpose, with our path. So Master K, in your words, why is it important to walk away from what is no longer serving us, and how do we recognize what that may be?
Well, first of all, we need to recognize what is no longer serving us. Maybe our personalities change. Maybe we've lost our life purpose. You know, it's a sad thing. We get brought up in this life, and our parents tell us what to do, then we go to school and the school tells us what to do, and then we got to act a certain way and take certain exams and do this and that and this. So we're always taught. And then we leave school, and then we settle down, we might get married, and then we push ourselves to the side, and we want to be loved and accepted. That's quite easy, especially if you're a female. That's the main two things. You want to be loved, listened to, and accepted. Those three things. And we push ourselves in the background to please the other person, and maybe please our friends, maybe please our family. And in the meantime, we get totally lost. Um, so basically, it's just realizing the true you. Sometimes the true us needs to resurface. It's okay pushing it back a little bit. There's nothing wrong with caring for other people, being a wonderful, loving-hearted person, helping as many people as you can. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying sometimes we push ourselves backwards. But once we realize that some things in our life no longer serve us, I was brought up, let's put it back on me, I was brought up very strict and very abusive as a child. And I grew up and I got to about 25 years old and I had a massive chip on my shoulder. I was always fighting and things like this, very angry lad. And then I remember getting my first flat and I stood in the doorway and I thought, right, you've got to change now. Get rid of this chip from your upbringing. Get rid of it. It's not serving you. You're getting in fights and you're being aggressive and angry and stuff like this. This is one reason why I took up martial arts at an early age. So once we realize what is affecting us, it's usually not our energy. Going on the theme of energy, I'll tell you what, when you let go of something that's doing you no good at all, it's like a massive weight has been just taken off your shoulders. It really, really does wake you up. So, yeah,
absolutely. It's one of those things whenever you have the like aha moment, it's that moment where you realize you cannot continue on in the way that you've been going, and change must occur. It's a great moment to realize that you have the power to make great change in your life at that point, to say, right, this behavior, this relationship, this job, this whatever is no longer serving me. How am I going to create change in my life? And so one of the things that I like to lean on, I guess, is setting boundaries. That's why I said, like, if it's with a person, I can say, right, this person's not healthy for me in my life, so I'm going to change the way that we interact. I'm going to set boundaries on how we spend time together. I'm going to set boundaries on what I share with them. I'm going to, connect in ways that are healthy for me. And if that means not at all, then that's what I'm going to move towards. But also giving yourself the opportunity to say, right, I can create new relationships. I can go out and create new connections with people that vibrate at this frequency that I am now vibrating at. And knowing that it's okay to walk away from those relationships or those situations, whether it's a job or a home or a family member, a friend, the list can go on, but giving yourself that moment to say, right, I see this is no longer serving me. I'm going to walk away, and then giving yourself the chance to truly do so.
Excellent. Yeah, very true. Very true indeed.
Beautiful.
Yes. And you mentioned something about raising your vibrations. We know that we create our own reality in a way here, and raising our vibrations. We it's like manifestation. That's another subject we're going to cover on this these energy podcasts. But what we give out, we receive. We're almost like mirrors, in vibrations. We are transmitters and receivers of energy. Absolutely. So, like you just said, once we raise our vibrations, then we attract our tribe, as it were. Only the people that are vibrating on our level, and that's a really good thing to do.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to release the things that are no longer serving, so that way there's room to welcome in the things that are meant for us, right? So, be that new friendships or relationships or jobs. Keeping your mind open to the possibilities keeps the doors open for you to continue moving. And
Absolutely.
I like to believe that we live in a world where we create our reality, and we have the opportunities to align with that which we dream. So, every day is an opportunity to wake up and say, hey, what can I do to align with the frequency of love and peace and joy and abundance, and go out into the world and share it in whatever ways you can. And beautiful. I'm going to share one last tip, and that is the space for ritual can be very, very powerful when releasing things that no longer serve, be it lighting a candle, holding an incense, going around with a smudge stick, giving yourself the opportunity to say a few words out loud. But that practice, that ritual practice, gives you the opportunity to really solidify in for yourself that state of release and that path of moving forward.
Fantastic. I did that today, actually. Yeah, I did some saging today.
I lit a candle today and said a few prayer words, so I love that.
Yeah.
It's very powerful, It's funny, little things, but they make a big difference.
Oh God, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to share the space with you today, and what a lovely topic this has been, sharing about what no longer serves and a few tips on ways to be able to release. So, with that, do you have any final thoughts today, Master K?
Only one. The word emotions means energy, emotion. Sometimes if that energy is bad and trapped inside of us, it can affect our health in future years to come up. So it's always good to get rid of stagnant old energy and things that have troubled us from other people. And there's an old saying, live in your head, you're dead. Yeah, and there's another one, if in doubt, let it out. So this is why in therapy we do breathing exercises, or, these trapped emotions, we can write them down on paper and burn the paper, and it's just getting out of our head. So basically, some emotions we don't need anymore, some are healthy. But if we find that something is keeping us in a pattern in life, and that pattern is, not very good pattern, and we're not learning, we need to do something about it. So that's it, basically, today. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you all so much for listening today. We will send you off with a namaste, and we will see you in the next podcast. Bye.
See you later.